Jason's Reads video. So I'll be talking about books 14 through 18, which I read in 2016. So this is the final wrap up of books that I read during 2016. I will be doing a complete 2016 reading stat / wrap up video later. I'll probably film that today as well. But I wanted to do this wrap up because I hadn't done it yet. I was holding off for as long as I could to see if I would finish another book so I could include it, but I didn't. So here we are, filming the wrap up final. Also, apologies if you can hear the fan in the background and the nice wind effect we've got going on here, but it is way too hot to have the fan off, so we're just gonna have to put up with the hair blowing. So let's just jump in and talk about the last 5 books that I read during 2016. So the 14th book that I read during 2016 was Simon vs. the Homo Sapiens Agenda by Becky Albertalli. If you do not know what Simon vs. the Homo Sapien Agenda is about, it is about a guy named Simon, and he's been emailing this guy named Blue, and Blue and Simon go to the same school, but they don't know who each other are. They've been emailing each other anonymously. Some of these emails, or one of these emails that Simon has sent, falls into the wrong hands, and a whole bunch of events ensue that go on in this book. One thing we do know for sure is that Simon is falling hard for Blue, and we spend the whole book wanting to know just who Blue is. I ended up rating this book 4 out of 5 stars. I think at the beginning that it was just a little bit slow to get into, but once we got through that initial part, it was very enjoyable. I certainly loved reading the emails between Simon and Blue. They were just adorable, and you were really rooting for Simon and Blue because they seemed like they were just meant for each other. They were just adorable. I spent like half the book trying to figure out who Blue was, and much to my pleasure I did not guess, because I really hate when you're able to predict things in books. So I was pleasantly surprised that I did not find out who Blue was until the very end, and the cat's just opened the blinds now, so now we have a new lighting situation going on. The 15th thing that I read during 2016 was Harry Potter and the Cursed Child by John Tiffany and Jack Thorne. I am sure all of you know what this is about. This is of course the script for the stage play that is going on in London. I ended up only rating this 3 out of 5 stars. It wasn't my favourite thing that I've read, but I could just imagine this being an amazing stage play, and I really hope that it comes to Australia one day so I get to experience it. I believe I did do a video review on this, so I will link that up here if you would like to check it out. The 16th thing that I read in 2016 was Throne of Glass by Sarah J Maas. So this one, again, I'm sure you all know what it's all about. This is the first book in the Throne of Glass series. I just read this for the first time this year. I'm very much behind the times when it comes to this series. This one I only rated 3 out of 5 stars. I guess I went in expecting to love it because so many people do and say it's a great series. I just found it a little bit slow for my liking. I did enjoy the characters and the world, but it was really slow, and I was really bored through a lot of the book. I just kept waiting for things to happen so I could fly through it, but unfortunately for me it was just a little bit slow. I do own the rest of the series, so I'm definitely going to continue on. Just for now I'm going to take a bit of a break because yeah, it just wasn't my favourite thing, unfortunately. The 17th thing that I read in 2016 was Heartless by Marissa Meyer. I read this as part of the Pam Macmillan Australian blog tour, so I definitely have a review for this up. I will link that up here if you're interested. Again, with this though, I only rated it 3 out of 5 stars. I definitely had a bad end to the year when it comes to reading books. I just didn't enjoy a lot of what I read. This is of course the ARC edition, so the finished one doesn't look anything like this, but if you don't know what this is about, this is the story of the Queen of Hearts. I guess you could say her origin story. It tells the story of the Queen of Hearts before she is what she is in Alice in Wonderland, before she's mean and evil. I enjoyed that aspect of it. I liked finding out how she became who she was, but again, for the most part, I just was really bored by this book and I was really unmotivated to pick it up. If I didn't have to review it, I probably would have DNF'd it because I just wasn't enjoying it, unfortunately. And then the 18th and final thing that I read during 2016 was We Should All Be Feminists by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. I gave this 5 out of 5 stars. I really loved it. It was so beautifully written, and it made me want to read all of Chimamanda's books. But this really gives a really great insight on what it's like to be a woman in Nigeria. Like, obviously I could never know what that's like, but this gives you a really good idea of that experience, and it has some really great ideas on feminism in general and what it means and what it should mean. And yeah, I definitely recommend it to everybody. I think it is something that everybody should read. You can do it. Jump. You can do it. So those were the final 5 things that I read in 2016. I think I just had a really bad reading end to the year, with the exceptions of We Should All Be Feminists and Simon vs. the Homo Sapien Agenda. I just was really slumpy, which is why I didn't reach my goal, but I will talk about that more in my 2016 reading wrap up. So that was it. Those were the 5 books that I read. Let me know in the comments down below, have you read any of these books and what your thoughts were on them. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Please rate, comment and subscribe if you like my videos, and I'll talk to you all again in my next one. Goodbye!